Hi, it's Jenny Lynn from Get Digging It and the Open Mind Therapist or Open Mind Therapy. And whoops, I don't often do this because, well, I don't. Um, so I thought I'd just give it a quick go. And the reason is because, here's my baby, um, is because I've just had the most amazing healing. And I wanted to share it with you. So, because, like, as a therapist, I'm always looking at the mind body, or I'm always looking at natural ways of staying well, whether it be from, what you eat, or what you grow, obviously, because I believe you're stronger and better. Uh, your immune system is better if you eat food that grows locally to you. So I'm always looking at these kinds of things, as well as the mind-body debate. So this is all about, you know, um, have I got chronic fatigue syndrome because I'm spending so much energy worrying about how I feel in the world, etc. But I've just literally this last less than 24 hours, probably about 18 hours. Just had the most amazing healing, and let me describe to you what it is. Um, for probably about a week and a bit, I've had this growing discomfort in my gum. I know exactly what it is because I've had it before, and I have a broken tooth, and I went to the dentist about it about 18 months ago, and he said, "I'll take it out, take some antibiotics, and I'll take it out." And I thought, there's two things there. One is I don't take antibiotics, and two is, well, maybe I can heal it. So I did a bit of research and I found out about vitamin K2, and yes, you can heal your teeth. It takes a lot of dedication and devotion, and yes, you can heal them. I've dabbled with it. I can't say, to be honest, I've actually um, persevered with the K2 and with the diet that would heal my teeth. So anyway, 18 months later, I get exactly the same kind of problem with this tooth, which is that the tooth is split right down to the gum, and that therefore infectious agents can get in quite easily. And I've had rumblings of it before, and the minute I get a rumbling of it, I whip out the wild oregano oil or the colloidal silver that I make, or I do some oil pulling, or what else do I do? I think it's just the three things that I've done. And I give it a good old go just to see if I can get on top of it. Normally I can, but in the last week, I'd say just over a week, I've been slowly getting worse and worse with this, to the point where it's kind of given me a headache. My face has started to swell. I've been feeling absolutely, really exhausted. And I thought, right, this is really miserable, and I've tried to ride it out. It got a little tiny bit better with some oregano oil that I was using, but then it just got even worse and worse. And by Friday, I was just feeling pretty miserable, really. But still soldiering on, like you do. I mean, nothing stops me really, but still soldiering on. And then on Saturday, really painful. Like the back of my throat feels like I've got a cold coming. It isn't a cold, but it's because of all the inflammation around my wisdom tooth on the top layer here. And it's all sort of feeding into my throat. So my daughter says to me, "Oh, Mum, don't get sepsis." I'm thinking, oh, blimey, that was the last thing I was thinking of. So I've looked up sepsis and how to treat that naturally, and that's massive doses of vitamin C into the veins. So I thought, right, let's hope it doesn't get that bad. Anyway, Sunday I went out and I was feeling really, really rough, really grouchy and horrible with this huge inflammation. My gum now was all swollen on the inside and at the back of the tooth and on the outside of the tooth, the upper tooth, and I was just feeling really low. And I went out to the Rainbow Rural event on Sunday with the Get Digging It people. Well, it's just me and Trouty. And oh God, I felt felt awful. So I went home and I thought, right, desperate measures. So I looked up online and I thought, what can I do about this rotten tooth? I want to heal it. I want to get rid of the infection at least. And then perhaps go and find myself a new dentist who, I don't know, maybe an alternative dentist who can advise what to do with it. And so I went online and I had a good old look around, looked at a few YouTube videos, had a good look at, the first conventional stuff that pops up. I'll forget that. There must be something else. And so anyway, I came across a number of different treatments, some of which I've used, some of which, don't seem feasible. But I came across one which was baking soda or baking powder and hydrogen peroxide. And I have a bottle of hydrogen peroxide in the cupboard. So I thought, right, let's do it. So you mix just a teaspoon in a little egg cup with maybe half a teaspoon of peroxide so that it's kind of pasty. It doesn't really dissolve or anything. It just becomes like a grainy paste. And it said on the thing, put it on some cotton wool and put it inside the mouth, between the cheek and the gum. So I thought, oh, I've got to do it. I just feel so miserable. So I put it in where it was said, and I misread it. It said leave it 45 minutes. I thought, for some reason I thought it said 15. So I left it 15 minutes, took it off. And the difference before and after was that what was just a swelling was now a blister. You could feel it. I sort of touched it with my tongue, and it was a horrible blister. I thought, that's interesting. So it's brought it out. And the blister was really huge in my mouth. I mean, things do feel a lot larger when they're in your mouth, because you've got so many nerve endings. So these kinds of ulcers and anything to do with the gums feels huge. So it was a huge, to me, it was a huge, massive, watery blister, which was horrible. And my throat, the top of everything felt really rough. So I went to bed really early last night, and I wished out my mouth with colloidal silver, put some oregano oil on it, and just tried to lay on this side because this side was too painful. And I lay on this side, and halfway through the night, I tend to waken anyway, but halfway through the night, I woke and was aware that the swelling on the inside of up there at the top of the back on the inside had gone. And I thought, that's interesting. And then I was aware, obviously, there was an unpleasant taste in my mouth. So I'm sorry to give you the gory details, but seriously, I can't recommend this highly enough. Went into the bathroom, swilled my mouth out, there was blood. So I was obviously getting rid of stuff, I hesitate to say the word pus, but it was coming out. And I went back to bed, and then about a couple of hours later, I was aware again there was something in my mouth that tasted horrible. Went into the bathroom, swilled it out, there was more. So it was pretty disgusting, really, but immediately my gum was flat instead of swollen and blistered. So I thought, wow, that's amazing. So this morning I looked at the video again, and I realised it said, instead of 15 minutes, it said 45 minutes. I thought, interesting, okay. Because what had happened this morning was that I'd say probably 60% of the blisters had popped, and there was another blister right on the very back of the tooth, on the jaw, that hadn't popped. So I thought, right, I've got some of this paste left. I'm going to put it on a little tiny piece of, those face cotton wool white things, cut that up and put a bridge underneath the tooth at the back, right at the back, where the swelling was, on the other side of the wisdom tooth. So I put it all the way in up the back and sort of pushed it either side. So there was this white thing at the back of my throat. And left it, went out, did a few things, went outside the house, left it about an hour, and came back. Fortunately, I didn't have to talk to anybody. Came back, took the bandage off, and the whole gum area was completely flat, and there's no swelling at all now. Let me just check. Oh, swelling has all gone. The feeling I had of complete and utter, can't be bothered type thing has gone. I'm left, if I bite, it's a little bit sore. But it's like, I can't describe to you the massive improvement from yesterday to today. And because the hydrogen peroxide and the baking soda pulls the infection out of the gum, and it just forced it out. It's like if you use baking powder or baking soda or bicarb of soda on the oven, it literally shifts stuff, doesn't it? And I've just recently learnt as well that I had some I managed to get some oil on a brand new pair of trousers, and I was looking at cures for this, and I tried what you would normally do, the what do you call it, the very intensive scrubbing with some washing up liquid, but absolutely not a hope in hell. It didn't shift it at all. So I got some WD-40 and sprayed that, and on top of that I put some baking powder and just left it there, and then eventually I went to wash it, and the trousers are perfectly clean. So what it's done is it's baking soda seems to have this quality that drags things out. It absorbs stuff. It sucks out. It's probably got a very high absorption value, and it just pulls stuff out of the gum or out of clothes or out of anything. You can clean your oven with it. You can clean your sink with it. You can do all kinds of stuff with baking soda or bicarb of soda. So I just wanted to share that with you. I've gone on much longer than I thought I would, so I do apologise. In fact, I may even do this again, but I'm not going to edit it because I'm flaming useless at editing. If anyone knows anything about editing videos, let me know, because I could really do with you. I've just realised I've probably got some baking soda around my mouth still. I could feel it just then. Anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that you can heal with yourself. I mean, that was in a book. What was it? Was it You Can Heal Your Life, wasn't it, Louise Hay? But she was talking about the mind body. But literally everything we need is all around us, and it's very cheap. I'm not advocating you shouldn't go to a dentist, because I will have to go to a dentist, and I probably will have to have this tooth out. I'd rather heal it if I could, but it's kind of broken through the centre right down into the jaw, so that if you were to take it out, it would come out in two pieces, and that's probably difficult to heal. I think the other broken teeth I've got, because I've got several others, one of them feels like it's thinking about regrowing, and apparently the way they regrow is in just tiny layers, so they don't just suddenly shoot up. They take a number of months, if not years, to slowly recover if you give them the right food. K2 is a vitamin that makes use of calcium in the body rather than calcium itself. Calcium itself can cause, apparently, hardening of the arteries, and it can cause all kinds of complications if you haven't got K2 in there to help the calcium find its place to where it needs to go. So So yeah, so just do your research whenever you want to recover from something super fast. There's always an answer. There's always a hope. There's always an answer. So I wanted to share that with you, and I'm going to come back sometime in the not so distant future and talk about growing food and the season that we're in at the moment, which is 2019. So I'm looking forward to coming back. I don't know how often I'll do this, but we shall see. I'm not a great videographer, but I hope you got something from today's video.